adjust your TV sets. October is the NFL's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The Crucial Catch campaign is now in its 5th year, raised $4.5 million, and inspired more than 10,000 women to go and get screened. One difference today, officials will be using pink penalty flags. The idea is real men wear pink, and Chris, I have to say you and Tim look pretty good in it today.
Thanks, Jennifer. You look good yourself. And nobody raised awareness like the National Football League. Pink everywhere. You've been seeing it all weekend and will continue to throughout this month. Carolina won the toss. They deferred. The Cardinals will receive, and that's fine with head coach Bruce Arians, who told us he always wants the football to start the game anyway. So Graham Gano will kick off. Larry Fitzgerald, one of the spokespeople for breast cancer awareness. Back to receive is Javier Arenas. Panthers 1-2 off the bye week. Cardinals 2-2. And this one has started. Game on as we'll get a touchback. And the Cardinal offense takes the field starting from the 20-yard line. Carson Palmer saying this offense is on the verge of breaking through after his head coach called the offense putrid in a win against Tampa Bay last weekend.
Yeah, and their passing game with these wide receivers has just been too inconsistent. I hope they use those tight ends to help in protection today with this offensive line. Bradley Sowell getting his first start out at left tackle as Levi Brown was moved on. Bruce Arians knows him well, and he hopes that he's able to hold up. There he is, right there.
Let's go.
Rashard Mendenhall, the running back, the former Steeler, who is brought down right away. Luke Kuechly, who led the NFL in tackles last year, in his second year, and again the leading tackler for this Panther team. Now, Carson Palmer said if there's a better front seven in the NFL right now, I haven't found it. This Carolina team is pretty strong.
Well, this group of defensive linemen, Chris, they're playing better than any front four collectively that I've watched on tape all year. They're supported by a good linebacker group, and they've been a huge Band-Aid for all those question marks and those backup players back in the secondary.
From the 21-yard line, Mendenhall on a delayed handoff, stopped short of the 25-yard line, where it'll bring up third and in that 6 range, and third downs have been a problem for this Cardinal offense.
That's because they haven't really been able to run the ball with success. They don't have a big variety of running plays. And when they get into these 3rd and 6 pluses, this is a staggering note, and Bruce Arians has talked about it really all week. They are 1 for 25 this season in 4 games when they face these situations, 3rd and 6 plus.
Rookie Andre Ellington in at running back, number 38. Excellent hands. He's at the bottom of your screen. A terrific receiver.
5'9".
90.
Fitzgerald, top of your screen on 3rd down. Palmer for Fitzgerald. First down just across the Cardinal 40. And remember last week, Cardinal fans know that Fitzgerald was not targeted in the entire first half. There were some words exchanged between Larry Fitzgerald and his head coach. Not necessary here.
Now they're 2 for 26. Love the way Carson Palmer moves just a little bit to his right to shake out of the way of Thomas Davis. Finds a wide open Larry Fitzgerald out on the sideline.
Gain of 19, spotted up at the 43-yard line of Arizona. Palmer avoids the rush and let it go early. Looked like he wanted to pull that one back, and here comes a flag, a pink flag. It was not yet ruled incomplete, and the Panthers are running with the football. Looked like a forward pass that fell incomplete. Robert Lester picked it up and ran just in case. Charles Johnson is the one who put the pressure on Palmer. John Perry is our referee, a financial advisor living in Akron, Ohio.
The ruling on the play is an incomplete pass. Personal foul, defense, number 99. Late and unnecessary contact to the quarterback. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Kawan Short gets called for the penalty.
Now let's see where this ball, first of all, if his arm is going forward before the ball comes out. And it is, so that is an incomplete pass. And then you'll see Kawan Short right here as Carson Palmer's going down. He just puts a little hit on him. Yeah, the arm definitely going forward. Ball still in the hand, so that is an incomplete pass. Carson Palmer, you look at all these 5-man protections, which means they're getting 5 guys out. Carson Palmer's going to have to use his legs, I think, a lot in this game. He's already had to move a few times.
All right, with the penalty, it moves the ball up to the 42-yard line of Carolina. Ellington remains in behind Palmer. He gets the football. It's back to Carson Palmer. Sideline deep towards Michael Floyd, and Lester is there. And he has the interception. The rookie free agent Robert Lester on an underthrown ball has a Panthers takeaway.
And this ball just comes out too late. The old flea flicker, hand it off, throw it back to the quarterback. Carson Palmer just looks too long and then unloads it. That's his 7th interception on the year, Chris, and 6 of those have been in positive territory. Wrong place for a turnover.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, Jennifer Hale. Lester's 2nd career interception. The 7th of the season thrown by Carson Palmer. On first down from the 20, D'Angelo Williams. He may lose a yard and gets run out of bounds. Let's take a look at an unusual trick play, underthrown, and Palmer, as you can see, Lester, looks like he comes down with it cleanly. It was reviewed and confirmed.
Yeah, he definitely came down with it cleanly as his left arm is under the football. Robert Lester, college free agent out of Alabama, started a lot of games there for Nick Saban, and he will tattoo you as a hitter and will come up and really be good in run support. What he's proven over the last couple of weeks, Chris, he's got pretty good ball skills at his first start. He's got 2 interceptions here in 2 games this season for Robert Lester.
Mike Tolbert in at running back on 2nd down. The catch made by Brandon LaFell, and he has a first down up across the 35-yard line. Cam Newton, who said he worked on improving his ball location, a little self-scouting during the bye week. D'Angelo Williams leads the NFL's 3rd best rushing attack.
And they're getting enough out of the passing game. It woke up against the New York Giants. Looking forward to Steve Smith matched up on Patrick Peterson today. And then this offensive line, they've actually played pretty good over the last couple of weeks. You said it. Cam's not getting sacked a lot, and they're running the ball with some pretty good success.
After a gain of 16, first down from the Carolina 35. Cam Newton has it, hit as he throws, but right on target. And going out of bounds for a first down is tight end Greg Olsen, who leads the team in catches coming into this game.
I think he's a key to their passing game, and here he's just going to run the deep out. Cam Newton looking left, comes back right. 2 passes, pinpoint accuracy for Cam Newton. But Greg Olsen, he is just a huge part of what they do, either as a clear-out guy for the wide receivers, or they clear out the secondary for Greg Olsen, who does a lot of dirty work underneath.
Steve Smith lined up against Patrick Peterson, top of your screen. On first down. Newton's throw to LaFell right at midfield and brought down right away by Darrell Washington. We haven't had a chance to set the defense for Arizona, but they welcome back nose tackle Dan Williams in the middle after the tragic loss of his father in a car accident a couple of weeks ago. And you just saw speedy linebacker Darrell Washington returning from a 4-game suspension.
They've got so much better at defending the run from last year to this year, and you said it, Darrell Washington. They're getting it back at the right time because he's the only one who really has speed to match up and spy Cam Newton. Tyrann Mathieu has been terrific as a 3rd-round rookie. They do a lot with him as a cover guy and certainly as a blitzer.
2nd down, 6 open is Olsen. He'll have a first down and ruined. Good blocking by LaFell ahead of him. All the way inside the 25 of Arizona before Washington ran him down.
There's another thing that Carolina has been doing all year is stacking up those little bunch sets and stacking receivers on top of one another. And here you see LaFell with Greg Olsen. LaFell's going to take it deep. Watch, that's what I just talked about. Olsen underneath, and now he gets a good block from LaFell on Gerard Powers. Pick up a nice gain.
A 25-yard gain inside the 25 of the Cardinals. First down, Panthers. Pass is right on target to Olsen again. From the 10-yard line, another Carolina first down, and Cam Newton looks crisp and sharp. Remember, this building, his college football career won a BCS championship at Auburn, and then, of course, his NFL debut for Ron Rivera, threw for 422 yards, although they lost that game as Patrick Peterson returned punts to help the Cardinals win it.
And I know there's been some trepidation with the off week, and they destroyed the Giants and pitched the shutout. How would they respond with young players at key positions, in particular quarterback? So far, so good. Cam looks terrific.
At the 11, Kenyon Barner checks in, the rookie from Oregon, with D'Angelo Williams. Williams gets the ball and goes forward before being stopped. So the Panthers can pick up a first down before they get into the end zone, their intention. Cam Newton comes in with 6 touchdown passes, only 2 interceptions. He's averaging 6 yards a carry.
And you go back the last 10 or 11 games, he does not throw a lot of interceptions. We're going to see 5 or 6 zone reads in this game. And we had him week 1 against Seattle, and they wanted to take that off his plate, and he did the same against Buffalo, and this offense just was not very efficient. Against the Giants, he chewed him up with his legs, and it paid off as well in the passing game.
From the 9-yard line, Williams on 2nd and 8. D'Angelo Williams diving forward with his head first down to the 3-yard line. He's the Panthers' all-time leading rusher, averaging 4.7 yards a carry this season. Without Jonathan Stewart, who's been injured, eligible to come off the injury list in a couple of weeks, he really has carried the load because Barner, the rookie, this is his first regular season game.
And the beauty of that is D'Angelo Williams last year, in the last couple with Jonathan Stewart out there, he's getting 10 to 12 carries a game. You saw that number, 62 carries through 3 games. They're feeding him the ball more, and he's finishing.
Big 3rd and 3. Ted Ginn, top of your screen. Mike Tolbert the back from the 5. And we have a timeout. Bruce Arians upset about something. He's talking to Patrick Peterson.
Prior to the flag being thrown for 12 men on the field defense prior to the snap, Phoenix called a timeout. First charge timeout, Arizona.
So a wise timeout by the Cardinals so that they aren't penalized.
Well, and that would have given Carolina a first down. Down inside the 2-yard line, inside the 1-yard line. That was
3rd and 3. You would only get really half the distance, so it may not have helped, but wanted to make sure the defense was set. And this is one of those games where an early touchdown, certainly an advantage for the road team like the Carolina Panthers. Talked about Cam Newton, Tim, in the open coming off the bye week, that impressive thrashing of the Giants, but they, as the tight end Greg Olsen said, we're not going to throw any parades just yet. Our record is 1-2. We have to prove a lot more.
Yeah, and look, you go back to the last 2 years. I think it was a 1-5 start and a 1-6 start. So they've been a slow roll to start seasons, but I think this is a different team. I see Brandon LaFell starting to respond. Certainly we know about Steve Smith, Greg Olsen, the running game's good. I think he's a different Carolina football team this year around.
Cam Newton, throw, incomplete. He got it to Steve Smith, and he couldn't hold it.
Steve Smith doesn't drop too many of those. I mean, the ball location was perfect. Cam Newton puts it right on his pads on the inside slant route. Throws it out quick enough to where Darrell Washington couldn't get in the throwing lane. You can't throw it any better than that. Steve Smith just couldn't hold on to it. Missed opportunity.
And the first incompletion for Cam Newton, 5 out of 6 on a very impressive drive, and a missed golden opportunity is now a 22-yard field goal try for the Panthers. And you see Graham Gano has not missed this year. The holder is the punter. And following the interception by Carson Palmer, who has thrown 1 in every game this year, the Panthers drive stalls, but they lead 3-0.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Panthers' impressive drive. They have to settle for 3. Steve Smith, who talks a lot to other players, is talking to himself about that rare dropped pass in the end zone that was right on target from quarterback Cam Newton. There's Javier Arenas hoping to get an opportunity. Gano already 1 touchback today, 15 out of 16 this year. And let's tack on another one, bringing the Cardinal offense out to the 20-yard line. But they're only trailing by 3 after this Carolina miscue.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. By KFC, the official sponsor of Couchgating. KFC plus football equals Couchgating. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
We welcome you back to the desert. Some early games of note. The Saints stay undefeated. The Panthers chasing them in the south. And in the west, Seattle loses its first game of the year. That's good news for the Cardinals. On first down from the 20. Incomplete for Fitzgerald. And let's get a game break. Before we go to the game break, we have a flag down. Captain Munnerlyn on Fitzgerald.
And they're going to get Munnerlyn for a foul for sure here, as Larry Fitzgerald was running that in-cutting route.
Pass interference, defense, number 41. Automatic first down, spot of the foul.
And one thing you're seeing a lot more out of Larry Fitzgerald this year is lining up in the slot. So Captain Munnerlyn playing inside leverage. And he basically just stands there and blocks his path to the football and puts his hands on him while the ball was in the air. That should be a very difficult matchup for Captain Munnerlyn in this game against one of the best in the business, Larry Fitzgerald.
And Fitzgerald goes to the bottom of your screen. Lined up against veteran Drayton Florence from the 24. First down, Palmer, hands off. Andre Ellington, first down, up to the 35 if they give him the spot. The rookie from Clemson, who Coach Bruce Arians said, we hope he gets in on 35 plays or so.
Well, he needs more touches, and this is a classic play against this group. Run the draw against all those pass rushers. A nice block up front, getting the nose tackle out of the way, and Andre Ellington over 6 yards of carry. This cat can move. I hope he gets those touches tonight.
Patrick Peterson just checked in. He's in the slot. He has thrown a pass this year, caught a pass. He's intercepted passes. Palmer underneath. It's Richard Mendenhall, stopped short at the 44-yard line. Now let's get that game break. Check in with Joel Klatt.
All right, thank you, Chris. And you just saw the score. Let's show you how it ended. Seattle on fourth down. Russell Wilson trying to go down the field, and Darius Butler with the interception. Seattle no longer undefeated. The Colts win it 34-28. Chris, Tim, and Jennifer.
Thanks, Joel. Correction, that was Alphonso Smith previously on the play. Now Richard Mendenhall gets the carry, and he gets a first down as a flag goes down across the 35-yard line. A rotation of running backs with Mendenhall, Smith, and Andre Ellington.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 80 was covered up. 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
We showed you the games that are final and in the division. This is critical, Tim, for Arizona.
No doubt. And with Seattle losing today, there's an opportunity there for sure. And I know it's early in the season, but today and the next 3 games are going to be a huge part of the schedule that the Arizona Cardinals have got to win a few of those.
And that Seattle is a short week, a Thursday night game. Second and 6 from the 38-yard line. They're going to run it to Ellington, who stumbles, and that'll bring up third down. Luke Kuechly, who seems like he's everywhere. Man, a linebacker who goes sideline to sideline as well as anybody.
And he's right at home in the middle. He's got great instincts. Here's Kuechly right here. Look, he's got his eyes already over there. They're going to run the reverse action. They get Hardy to squeeze down. It's wide open, but look at Luke Kuechly and his speed in the open field. Basically, Ellington just fell down and unable to pick up any extra yards. This guy right here, Luke Kuechly, is, I think Urlacher had him as his top 5 linebacker the other day in a list. Kuechly is really, really good, especially for a second-year player.
On third down, they run, and going nowhere is Ellington, stopped at the 40, and Greg Hardy, coming off a 3-sack game, makes the stop. And the fans here sold out in Glendale don't like that call from the mad scientist head coach Bruce Arians, who called his offense putrid again in that win last week over Tampa Bay.
Well, they've regressed since the opener against the Rams, and he said a big part of that was they played a lot of similar defenses to the Rams in the preseason, so they had all the answers for those coverages. But things have changed, and the offense hasn't been able to modify the passing game.
Ted Ginn snares that Dave Zastudil punt. And Carolina will take over deep in its own territory for the second time today with a 3-0 lead. Fox tonight, the scariest night of the year. It's coming early to Animation Domination. An all-new Halloween show, including The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. Tonight, 7 Eastern, 6 Central on Fox. Cam Newton, who after losing a couple of close games to start the season with Seattle and Buffalo, Ron Rivera said we went back and looked at his video from his last year at Auburn and his rookie year to see what he does best.
Well, I think that was the beauty. I mean, you talked about his debut here where he threw for 422 yards, his first game as a Carolina Panther. All that success that year came because they were really running a good portion of the Auburn offense where he had great success in the SEC.
From the 12 on first down, off the hands of Steve Smith. Another catchable football. He's struggling.
He's got to be out of his mind right now. I'm surprised he's not going crazy. I think he's just trying to settle himself down. He's been wide open a couple of times in a big matchup. 11 years older than Patrick Peterson. And here he's just going to run the in-cutting route. Another perfect laser from Cam Newton. Hits him in the palms and he drops it.
He came in with 14 catches, only 1 touchdown. Said this week he wanted to enjoy the game in the late stages of his career. Maybe he needs to play with a little more attitude. He checks out on 2nd and 10. D'Angelo Williams straight ahead. Knocked down at the 19-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down. Carlos Dansby, the Cardinal, then to the Dolphins, and back where he belongs, as he says, in Arizona on the tackle.
And anytime you're going to run inside, you got to get some key blocks from your offensive line, in particular your center. You've heard me say it a bunch of times. I think Ryan Khalil is the best center in football. He's able to get out there on the nose tackle. That play was designed to go front side. Give D'Angelo Williams a lot of credit as he saw the opening in the defense and cut it right back up the gut.
3rd and 3. Steve Smith checks back in. Tolbert the back. Cam Newton keeps for the first down. Cam Newton said he likes to run the ball early just to get the juices flowing.
Well, he hasn't needed to so far when he's throwing it. He's got pinpoint accuracy and there hasn't been pressure on him. But running that read option, and they got a variety of those read option plays. He's just such a weapon, Chris, as big as he is, as long as he is, as fast as he is, as powerful as he is. And I appreciate the fact that Ron Rivera said, look, we got to give it back to Cam and let his dynamic ability carry this football team, sometimes as a runner.
On first down, to throw, caught, and there he is, hanging out of the football for the first down up near the 40. Now he's talking, and there's a flag down, back where Cam Newton is slow to get up inside the 10.
And they had blitz pressure coming.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 56, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Yeah, Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator, dialed up this inside pressure here. Carlos Dansby, you're going to see him to the right of your screen, come flying in. And at the last minute, as the ball's gone, he puts his shoulder on Cam Newton.
First catch of the game for Smith, even though he knows he should have 2 other ones.
What I love is Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator, is going right back to him as the primary receiver, get his head back in this game.
And Cam Newton said, when I asked, do you force it sometimes to Steve Smith? I asked both him and Greg Olson, and there's Ken Dorsey who transfers the plays. And well, no, we got to get it. There's a sense of urgency because when Smith goes well, we go well.
That's right. And you got to, at times, even when they're covered, force it to your number 1 receiver and trust him.
D'Angelo Williams. On first down is cut down. Excellent defensive play by Calais Campbell.
When you look at their rushing attack, here's how it breaks down this season. And they're number 3 in the NFL, 151 a game. D'Angelo with 97, Cam with 33, Tolbert only with 18. Who's certainly a good short yardage back and a guy who's made hay down in the red zone, certainly with San Diego Chargers and here at Carolina last year.
And now you can throw Kenyon Barner in the mix, the rookie from Oregon, active today. 2nd and 11.
They usually get max protection when they keep those tight ends in.
Plenty of time for Newton, who delivers to Brandon LaFell. He fell and then got up and looked like he got the first down inside the 35 of Arizona.
Good illustration of Cam Newton's arm strength. I mean, we've seen this a couple of times today. LaFell's just going to go sit down in the soft spot of the zone. There's pretty good defenders around him, but that ball's coming in so hot. with accuracy and velocity. It's just too fast right in front of the hand there at Carlos Dansby before he can get a hand on it.
Already third catch of the game for LaFell, and they've been looking for a complimentary receiver since Muhsin Muhammad left for Steve Smith. And maybe it's LaFell, maybe it's Ted Ginn. Varner checks in.
There he is.
On first down from the 34. Picks up the rush. Cam Newton's in trouble. And he's going to go down. Carlos Dansby. Eighth sack of the season for Arizona. And the ninth time that Cam Newton's been brought down.
And one of the signature pressures of Todd Bowles, you're going to watch Dansby here, is he'll get up and then he's just going to read the rush lanes of the guys in front of him and adjust accordingly. And he sees the open right there. There's no way Tolbert could get to him as he changed his path to the quarterback. Todd Bowles sends as much pressure as anybody in the NFL, especially with those linebackers and safeties.
Newton's throw brought down at the 30, and what a laser to Ted Ginn.
He is just ripping it right now, Cam Newton. What I love about Ted Ginn, Chris, is he's running all the in-cutting routes now. Much more than just a go-route guy.
That'll set up a third down, but in field goal range at the 30 of Arizona. The Panthers on the road off a bye week have a 3-0 lead and have the football. That's the end of the first quarter. You're watching the NFL on Fox, and Fox NFL Sunday continues after a break from your local Fox station. Breathtaking scenery in Arizona. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, Jennifer Hale is down on the field. And while you're watching the NFL on Fox with us, Cardinal fans sold out here in Glendale. Wanting a stop from their defense on 3rd and 5. Cam Newton goes down. Carlos Dansby, along with some help up front, and man, knocked him out of field goal range.
And they send both inside linebackers, which I love. And Darrell Washington really set it up as Dansby could run free and get on, because Darrell Washington's going to come here. He chews up Byron Bell, and then watch Dansby just come on a little trailer blitz right inside there. Look at it, parts wide open for him. And he's still a good enough athlete where he's going to finish on Cam Newton. That is a big-time sack.
Yeah, 10-yard loss, and now the punter is out. Brad Nortman, they try and drop it inside the 10. Patrick Peterson waiting and watching and lets it go. And he bounces for a touchback. A 40-yard punt after Cam Newton's offense stalled against the Cardinals.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. By Corona, who invites you to find your beach this football season. And by Windows.
Cardinals have the football after Carlos Dansby, and the defense digs in.
That was a huge sack, pushing him right out of field goal range. And Dansby, what a big asset as it relates to the defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, and his system, because Dansby knows the system and has been selling it to the other players.
Rashard Mendenhall knocked down up across the 33-yard line. Had a couple of fumbles last week. Instead of getting benched, got a hug from Bruce Arians, who, of course, worked with him when Arians and Mendenhall were with the Steelers. And 1,000-yard seasons in 2009 and 10, but has not been the same since the knee injury.
And now he's dealing with a toe. I still don't think Rashard Mendenhall's even close to what he used to be health-wise.
Wide inning.
Pressure coming. Palmer goes down. 4 Panthers were in on him for the 11th sack of the season. We'll give Mario Addison and K'Wan Short most of the credit.
Here's the beauty of sending both inside linebackers. They're going to come here. Watch K'Wan Short get a one-on-one matchup, and I think it's on a running back. Send both backers. Now the running back's got to try to pick him up, and he and Addison have a Sunday afternoon meeting on the quarterback. K'Wan Short has got huge upside as a pass rusher, and he's starting to show why he was a second-round pick.
Now 3rd and 16. 29% conversion rate, 30th in the league for the Cardinals. Palmer on the run. Complete sideline. Floyd near the first down marker.
Boy, if he could have reached that football out in front of the pylon before he stepped out of bounds, that may have been a first down. And Carson Palmer extends the play with his legs, is able to get away. Now watch Floyd on the deep comeback route. Gets it, and then oh, he just needed to reach his hand out because it's about where the ball is.
Yeah, not a first down, not even worth calling for a measurement, Tim. So the punting unit comes out. And Ted Ginn back to return if he gets the chance from Zastadu. A booming kick inside the 15. Again, spun down at the 20-yard line by Justin Bethel. A 54-yard punt and a 5-yard return. But the Panthers, who have a 3-0 lead, have the football on offense. Glendale, Arizona. Looks like a spaceship, and Cam Newton has played out of this world in this building. Some big moments in his career. His Auburn Tigers won the BCS championship in 2011 against Oregon and 422 yards, a record in week 1, his NFL debut. Although the Cardinals came back to win that game, and Cam said this week, you know, it's just another place, but I'm comfortable here. And you see 8 out of 10, Tim, and those are the 2 drops.
That's right, and it hit Steve Smith right in the hands.
From the 20-yard line. Actually, they spotted up at the 21 on first down. 5, 6, 8. Williams carries. Unbeaten teams today. A couple fell. The Seahawks lost to Indianapolis. Kansas City and New Orleans kept their streaks alive, but the Bengals beat the Patriots. And, of course, the undefeated Broncos playing later.
How about those New York Giants?
Winless.
Unbelievable.
Along with Jacksonville, the Rams winners. Tampa Bay in the division, of course, with Carolina on a bye week, winless as well.
Tell you what, those defensive tackles, Calais Campbell, 93, Darnell Dockett, number 90, here and here, they have got to make their presence felt with all the issues they've had at outside linebacker.
On 2nd and 9, the pressure's picked up. But Cam Newton doesn't know where to go. And gets rid of it. It'll be 3rd and 9.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, they've had 4 outside linebackers hit injured reserve. That means these 2 guys, 2 big studs, have got to be better, and they've got to get after the quarterback. Now, Dockett has got 3 sacks on the year. It's been a slow start for Calais Campbell. They got to have an impact on this game. Cam Newton just extending plays, staying in the pocket. I'd almost prefer, especially early, you talked about Cam Newton early in games, get outside the pocket and really put pressure on the line of scrimmage as a runner.
On 3rd down and 9, he is going to get wrapped up. No, he gets away. They're going to rule him down at the 10-yard line. Even though the ball came out later, the whistle blew, and the official quickly marked him down as he got away.
Yeah, they sent Tyrann Mathieu, the slot corner, and I think he's the one that ends up finally getting this sack in the grasp. Calais Campbell misses it, 93. Just talked about him. Watch right there as Cam stiff arms him. He just drips off of it, and there's Mathieu right there as it's called in the grasp on Cam Newton. But I don't agree with that call. Cam Newton was still moving. And he pulls away from a lot of guys.
He is thankful they blew the whistle and ruled him down. A 10-yard loss from the 12. 3rd sack already for Arizona. And the punt, Peterson waving everybody away. It's not a good one as it goes out of bounds up around the 46-yard line. The Cardinals will have the best field position of the day. Only a 34-yard punt. You're watching the NFL on Fox. 3-0 Carolina.
Today's game is sponsored by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost.
Chris, I said it. I didn't think it was in the grasp with Tyrann Mathieu trying to rip the ball out there on Cam Newton. Just talked with Mike Pereira, our rules MVP, back at the Fox studio, and he agreed that should not have been called.
Palmer on 1st down to Floyd, who is wrapped up around the 41. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee for a game break. Hey, Kurt.
Hey, Chris, how about the Dallas Cowboys going out to the early lead against Denver? Tony Romo hooks up with Des Bryant, 2-yard touchdown. Denver has fumble set, so the Cowboys are trying to add to that. It's 7-0 right now. Chris and Tim?
Thanks, Kurt. Of course, the Broncos, one of those unbeatens, along with the Saints and Chiefs. Palmer for Floyd. Inside the 20. First down, Cardinals.
When Carson Palmer can stand in the pocket and not have to move, get to that back step and unload it, he's going to be accurate. And I'm starting to really appreciate Michael Floyd, as he's going to get inside the defender out there, Captain Munnerlyn, and watch the accuracy on this football. It can't be any better. Carson Palmer, when you do not rattle him and he can step into his throws, he has still got it.
Captain Munnerlyn at 5'8". Floyd is 6'2". Fitzgerald 6'3". Andre Ellington, there's a flag down as he goes down around the 13-yard line.
Yeah, they might get Darren College here on a hold on the inside on Colin Cole.
A makeshift offensive line. Remember, the team traded
Holding.
Levi Brown.
Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Levi Brown, a former #1 pick, shipped out of town to Pittsburgh.
And here's the hold here, which really opens up this backside lane. It's going to end up right here, but watch Darren College holding Colin Cole. And as he tries to disengage, he wraps his arms around his chest. He can't get off. And there was really no reason to do that. I don't think Colin Cole would have made that play anyway against Ellington.
Backs him up to the 29-yard line. They have a first at 20. Palmer goes underneath. That's Mendenhall, knocked down around the 24-yard line. Carson Palmer, more than 30,000 career passing yards. Remember, the Bengals took him to the playoffs. He sat a year as a rookie, unheard of today, and then stepped in. Of course, the last couple of years put a lot of years on you if you talk to him playing for the Raiders in Oakland.
It was tough with the Raiders for Carson Palmer. And, you know, there's been a lot of conjecture that his arm hasn't been the same since he had that elbow injury in Cincinnati. I don't believe that. And talking to receivers that catch the ball from him, they don't either. It's still got a lot of juice on it.
On 2nd and 15, he was looking for Hausler, but there was miscommunication somewhere, and Lester almost had a second interception of the game.
And this is the area where Carson has really had issues in terms of the ball security and really putting it up for grabs. I mean, clearly Hausler was not on the same page. Carson's going to fire this right down the middle of the field. Hausler never looks at him. I mean, he doesn't even have any idea that the ball's coming. Carson has thrown far too many interceptions down near the opponent's goal line.
And Hausler missed the first couple of games because of injury. They were talking about building trust between each other.
Yeah, you better hold up here in protection if you're going to just block with 5.
3rd and 15. He has time. Palmer for the end zone, and Fitzgerald knocked away. Larry Fitzgerald had to knock it away from Mike Mitchell, the former Raider who was a teammate of Carson Palmer's in Oakland.
Listen, if you're going to run these 5-man protections and get 5 guys out, you better have a quarterback that can escape. Carson's able to do it here, and then he unloads it, and it's just too far and too high for Larry Fitzgerald.
So a 42-yard field goal try by the veteran Jay Feely, whose only miss was beyond 50. There's a flag down as the kick is good. Cardinals Panthers may have jumped.
Offside. Defense. Number 36, who was lined up at the snap in the neutral zone. Penalty's been declined. Timeout on the field.
That's on Armon Smith. Would not have given Bruce Arians' team a first down, so they're going to take the 42-yard field goal. And we are tied at 3 after neither team has been able to get in the end zone. Saturday, the American League's best teams will look to their brightest stars and try to inch closer. The ALCS, then the World Series. Legends are born in October, and on Fox this Saturday, 7:30 Eastern, Game 1 of the ALCS. Red Sox fans are happy with a 2-0 lead on the Tampa Bay Rays in the best of 5. Of course, Joe Madden, the Rays manager, is a longtime Cardinal football fan. as the Cardinals kick off. And Ted Ginn will down it. Offense takes over at the 20 for the Panthers. Let's check in with Jennifer Hale again.
Well, Chris, we're seeing a different Cam Newton this season, a more mature leader. Before the game, I spoke with quarterbacks coach Ken Dorsey, who told me Cam has finished being stubborn. Now he's embracing the idea of learning from his mistakes and getting better because of his weaknesses. One point of evidence, you'll see that on the sideline. He's in constant communication with his coaches and his fellow teammates instead of sitting alone in isolation, Chris.
Thanks, Jen. And Ron Rivera said Cam's been coming in on his day off on Tuesdays with input in the game plan, which he didn't do last year.
Let me tell you what else he's doing, and nobody gives him credit. His ability to survey the field and then change plays about 70% of the time.
He's throwing on first down and incomplete for Brandon LaFell.
I mean, that's one area where the great quarterbacks, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, all the good ones, they get to the line of scrimmage. They get out of the huddle with a lot of time left on the play clock. They survey what they see, and they get them out of bad plays or kill plays and change to other plays with the audible system. Nobody's ever given Cam Newton enough credit. And I was shocked talking to Ron Rivera, the head coach yesterday. He said 70% of the time, Cam Newton is either killing or changing a play at the line of scrimmage, like he's probably doing right now.
Cam Newton keeps it. Cam Newton fights to get up to the 29-yard line, short of the first down. He was trying to give it to Kenyon Barner, the rookie, but wisely kept it. Tony Jefferson and Darrell Washington brought him down.
Well, he's going to look out here, and you're going to see Barner go there. And Cam Newton says, okay, Shaughnessy's getting ready to hit this thing right in the mouth. He ripped it right back out of his hands and then shakes down a couple of defensive linemen. And that's where Cam is really good now. He goes sideways and finds open space. As soon as he puts his cleat in the ground and turns it upfield, hard to stop.
On 3rd and 1, Tolbert gets the first down. And Powers across the 35-yard line. Mike Tolbert from Coastal Carolina. Wasn't exactly coasting there, but got 8 yards.
One of their signature plays. Watch the left tackle on this left guard, Amini Silatolu pull around. Gets out in front of it. They get a nice block from Richie Brockle, the fullback / H-back. And then the big load that is Mike Tolbert turns it up for a first down.
Panthers, one of just 4 teams coming into the game, Tim, that have run the ball more than they've thrown it this year. But in this game, they've actually thrown it a little more than they've run it so far. On first down, Cam with a screen to D'Angelo Williams, who has a lot of room. Knocked out from behind inside the 45 of the Arizona Cardinals. Jerron Powers from his corner spot after a gain of 19.
Watch the left guard, Amini Silatolu, just talking about him, puts Calais Campbell on the ground and then goes out and gets a nice block there. I believe that was Carlos Dansby that really opens it up for D'Angelo Williams. That was a well-timed screen pass.
Well, the Panthers were in this area before, but a sack pushed them out of field goal range. They need to get a little bit closer to try for 3. A fast-moving first half, just over 6 to play.
I think we're going to see here shortly Cam Newton take a deep shot, especially in this area of the field.
He goes underneath to Tolbert, who cannot spin out of the tackle. Brought down at the 35. Dansby brought him down. Let's check in for another game break.
Well, Peyton Manning has now thrown 17 touchdowns, but none easier than that little shovel pass to Julius Thomas. 17 TDs, 0 interceptions on the season for Manning. His team's still down by a touchdown, though, at Dallas. Chris and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. He continues to amaze. Peyton Manning. When you mention his name, it's like he's thrown another touchdown pass.
And an upgrade in weapons. That tight end is a real player now in Julius Thomas.
From the 35 of Arizona, it's 2nd and 1. Extra pressure. Newton's rolling out. Can he beat the corner? Yes. Inside the 25. First down, Panthers.
Love the play call from Mike Shula.
Matt Shaughnessy was out there in no contest.
No, Cam's just too good of an athlete. They get into this 22 personnel, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. Arizona is thinking inside run all the way. Cam Newton with the play action fake, naked bootleg, gets out and runs, gets a nice block there from Hartsock, and gets him real close to the red zone.
A gain of 11. Cam Newton 10 of 14, over 140 yards. He's run for 25.
And look at that ball distribution. 6 different receivers. Cam's getting it figured out.
The pitch to D'Angelo Williams. Sheds a tackle. Inside the 20. Run out of bounds near another first down.
Good patience, good vision by D'Angelo Williams. What he did best there, though, was run through the tackle of this guy right here, Carlos Dansby. Just look at the patience as he's surveying where the hole is going to be. Then he hits it. Dansby can't get over there in front of him. Well, you love the way these receivers block downfield for the Carolina Panthers, don't you?
That's only the 11th rush for the Panther team. 7 of those going to Williams. They've thrown it 14 times. Knocking on the door. Steve Smith to the left of Newton. Bottom of your screen. LaFell up at the top. Tolbert gets the carry on 2nd and 1. Into the arms of Carlos Dansby, is having a heck of a first half. Nearing the 3.5-minute mark, and both teams, Carolina with 3 timeouts, Arizona with 2.
Well, Dansby found the fountain of youth since their game last week against Tampa Bay. It was not his best game. He's everywhere today for the Arizona Cardinals. Good to see.
On 3rd down conversions, so far, Carolina's 2 out of 5. They have extra tight end help on 3rd and 1. Tolbert the back.
We've got an unbalanced line going here. These are all the offensive linemen over here, tight ends to the top.
Cam Newton has it, waits for the opening, and falls forward. Fourth down.
Watch this guy, Darnell Dockett. Watch the push. Darnell gets right there on Byron Bell. Knocks the puller off Amini Silatolu. That was the play right there, and that's why it was stopped big time by Darnell Dockett.
And Ron Rivera, who talked about analytics from baseball, how it's been incorporated in football, statistics and computers. Sometimes you got to go against the grain. I don't know where this falls, but he's going for it on 4th and inches. Cam Newton looks to throw, and it's dropped. Brandon LaFell. Cardinals survive and take over on offense.
That is a killer for the coach, Ron Rivera. You take the risk, as you said, the analytics. You say you show a running set, you throw it, everything works out perfectly. You hit Brandon LaFell right in the chest plate in between the 1 and the 1, and he drops it.
A gutsy call. The coaches do what they do, and the players don't finish it. Yeah, and that's been the history of Ron Rivera and Cam Newton so far in Carolina.
And you know who gets blamed every time at the end of the year? It's that guy right there, Ron Rivera. It's a win-loss business, bottom line.
14-yard line, nearing the 2-minute warning. Alfonso Smith, the running back. Carson Palmer is going to get sacked by Charles Johnson. He tore the ball out afterwards, but he's called down.
Wheeling on the field is in the grass, and forward progress stopped. 2nd down.
You know who gets it started, and Charles Johnson gets credit for it, but watch 99 right in the middle of your screen on Paul Faneca, and he gets after Carson Palmer. Carson steps up, and Charles Johnson finishes them all.
2 of the top 15 defenses in the NFL, and we're tied at 3. After LaFell's drop on 4th down.
Well, and I think Ron Rivera, former player, knows that players are going to make mistakes and not always make the play. A lot of football left here, and you saw what he just told Brandon LaFell. Just make the play first. It's all going to be okay. Promote some confidence. Don't panic.
Mike's 5'8". Mike's 5'8".
Got it.
4 to go. Mike 90.
Palmer for Floyd. Out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down. Carolina has 2 sacks in this game of Palmer, coming off a 7-sack performance against the winless Giants. And when head coach Bruce Arians said this offense was stretching to find its identity, they need to stretch a little more.
Well, they need to maybe keep a few more guys in to protect. And I know Bruce Arians loves getting 5 guys out. They need a tight end and a running back presence in protection. We've seen a bunch of these empty sets. It's all on the quarterback at that point. That time Carson overthrew Michael Floyd down the sideline because he had a defensive lineman throwing an offensive lineman right into his lap.
Larry Fitzgerald has 1 catch in the game. Now 3rd and 17. Underneath. Catch made by Ellington. It'll be 4th down. And we have a timeout called by the Panthers. They will have 2 remaining. 1:47 to play. Ron Rivera in his 3rd season linked with Cam Newton. And don't forget Sleepy Hollow, all new. Everybody's talking about it tomorrow at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. One of the exciting news shows that you can see only on Fox. Well, Bruce Arians said, you know, last week it was an ugly win. You said they had no business taking that game.
The defense won the game at the end with a couple of big turnovers.
Arizona Republic columnist Dan Bickley wrote, results dwarf aesthetics in the NFL. This looks like another one of those games for the Cardinals. They're hoping for a positive result. Sastadil has to kick it out of there again. Fair catch, wait for it, the 30. With 1:40 to go before the half and 2 timeouts, it's been a battle of field goals and frustration for the Panthers and Cardinals. Along with Tim Ryan and Jennifer Hale, Chris Myers here in Arizona. Larry Fitzgerald telling us I'd be lying if I didn't say I was frustrated all those years since Kurt Warner left with the quarterback play. But he's a team player. And today only 1 catch, hoping that Carson Palmer in the late stages of his career can help him in this offense. Meanwhile, Cam Newton with a 1st down. 2 timeouts and 1:40 before the half. Ted Ginn flying inside the 40 of the Cardinals.
You said it, flying. Ted Ginn, I mean, you can feel his speed. And I was talking to him in pregame down on the field. He said, oh, no, it's a fast track. Watch out. Watch him turn this up. He's going to pick up an extra 15 yards.
They hurry to the line after a gain of 32. Cam Newton for Olsen, standing on the sideline and wisely out of bounds, where it will be 2nd down at the 33 of the Cardinals. The Visa halftime report coming up. You'll see highlights with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy on some of those unbeaten teams that fell, like the New England Patriots and what Indianapolis did to the Seahawks and Russell Wilson.
I am really happy for Ted Ginn, who's finally getting an opportunity, and I think the defense is almost in shock when they see him run those routes to the middle of the field. Everybody's always looked at him as just a go route guy getting vertical.
2nd down 5. Steve Smith. It's intercepted by Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson all the way back to the 45 of Arizona. He secured the game last week with 2 interceptions. A big play here before the half.
And that is a poor throw from Cam Newton. Watch Patrick Peterson right in the hip pocket of Steve Smith. And Cam just simply underthrew that ball. I don't think, looking at the position of Patrick Peterson, that Cam was thinking about that back shoulder throw. He just underthrew it. And Patrick Peterson, with his ball skills, is awesome. One of the best cornerbacks in the league. And seriously, Chris, was the reason they won that game last week against Tampa Bay.
His 3rd interception of the year, and a spectacular return sets up Carson Palmer in pretty good shape. 54 seconds and 2 timeouts for Fitzgerald. He stays in bounds. It's a 1st down inside the 40 of Carolina. Some of the stars of Arizona making big plays.
Yeah, they had to call a timeout, not getting to the line of scrimmage fast enough.
18-yard pickup on this connection.
And look at Carson Palmer when he's not hit in the pocket. I mean, that is a perfect throw over the corner and in front of the safety and right on target to Larry Fitzgerald.
Cardinals will have 1 timeout remaining. and at the 38-yard line of Carolina.
And nobody wants to win more than Carson Palmer, Chris. We were talking to him the other day, and you talked about the Cincinnati experience and then the Raider, certainly a weird experience out there in Oakland. He goes, look, I'm not going to hang on and just continue to play this game. This is all about winning and getting a Lombardi trophy. That's all I care about anymore. He's got a burning desire to get it done.
Floats one, incomplete for Rob Hausler. The trust and the connection just not there. Right now you're looking at a 56-yard field goal try if the Cardinals don't advance it at all. They still have one timeout on second down 10 and 45 seconds to go.
Yeah, and Carson again had a little pressure on him. Perfect ball to Rob Hausler, who couldn't hang on to it. We've been hearing about Rob Hausler for a few years as a guy that's got a huge upside in this offense. He hasn't scored a touchdown yet in his career and has been unable to really make an impact.
Palmer rolling, on the run throwing, and it's going to be caught, but was he in bounds?
Yeah, I believe his feet were in bounds, and he reached for it, caught it, and then fell out of bounds.
And that's the rookie Ellington, who Bruce Arians and Carson Palmer said has the best hands catching the ball of any running back.
And he's got some quicks to him here. Watch him get right back to the sideline. Let's see, feet are in, goes down, ball doesn't move. That's a completion, and Carson did it off the run.
That is great footwork. Booth review under 2 minutes.
The previous play will be reviewed.
John Perry making sure is upstairs.
Okay, let's watch the feet. See if he's got a firm grasp of the ball as it comes to him in his hands or arms. So right there, he's got a firm grasp. Feet are in, goes down, arm under the ball, it doesn't move. That's a completion.
Bobby McGrath, our replay official. Yeah, to drag that toe, that extra play, to hang on. He obviously to maintain possession all the way through the football. It's a terrific play.
No, this guy is deserving, Andre Ellington, of his role in this offense continuing to grow, as it moves on for him here in his rookie year.
Drafted in the 6th round from Moncks Corner, South Carolina. We know they're watching in the Carolinas and making a big play for the Cardinals against the Panthers. Michael Pereira, you talked about our rules analyst watching closely, and what are they checking for, Mike? It looks like a clear catch. What's the replay official looking at?
Well, I think he's just looking to see if the right foot did drag, the right toe drag coming up right here, which you see a little bit of stuff kick up, and then did he hold on to the ball when he hit the ground? To me, the fact that they ruled this a catch has to stay a catch because there's not enough to overturn anything here, in my opinion.
Yeah, and they have the high definition, right? They can freeze it, look at live action, and slow it down.
They got just the same stuff that you're looking at. Yeah, I mean, it used to be before when they started out, they just had standard definition, and they made this upgrade about 5 years ago. They put the screen under the hood there, a bigger screen, because it really was about a 13-inch screen when it started. So they blew that up to a bigger screen and went to the high definition, which has made a difference because we used to say, hey, you know, the guy at home in his lazy boy chair had a better view than you do under the hood.
All right, here they come with the review. Thanks, Mike Pereira.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has been confirmed as a catch. 1st and 10, Arizona.
At the 23-yard line of Carolina, 38 seconds remain here for Carson Palmer.
Again, Patrick Peterson and the impact play he just made on that interception, and then the big run after the interception.
And he's in on offense.
In position.
He's in the slot on the left side for Palmer. He goes the other way, Fitzgerald, and at the goal line. Interception by Mike Mitchell. The one-time teammate of Palmer in Oakland.
And again, inopportune, self-inflicted wound by Carson Palmer, down in the plus territory, has now thrown an interception in every game, and twice today as they're approaching the other team's goal line. There's not a worse place to turn the ball over than there is when you're getting close to scoring position.
This is a veteran quarterback who has to think at the very least we come out of here with a field goal try.
No, he just forced that one into Larry Fitzgerald. Not a good throw. You had linebacker underneath. You had a safety over the top.
Palmer thought he had the edge on a guy like Mike Mitchell from just having practiced against him with the Raiders.
Well, yeah, he knows Mike Mitchell, and Mike made, he was a second-round pick of the Oakland Raiders, and really could only make his biggest contributions on special teams. I know Carson liked that matchup today. He just served him up one.
2 interceptions in this game. He's thrown an interception in every game this year. And for Mitchell, his first interception. Carried by Tolbert. Across the 40. Still 2 timeouts for Carolina. They may be able to come out of this with something. 25 seconds to go. A 20-yard run by Mike Tolbert, who earlier had a big 8-yard run on a 3rd down that got him a 1st down.
And what's shocking about that secondary with the 2 interceptions today and the shutout over the Giants is they're really back up to the backup players, a good portion of them. And Dansby just shot his gun up inside right there and gave a big opening off tackle to Mike Tolbert.
You can see, as outstanding as these defenses have been, Carolina ranked 10th in the NFL coming in, Tim 14th for Arizona, but these offenses have sputtered and stalled, whether it's been drop passes on the part of Carolina or Carson Palmer's interceptions. That's why we're just tied at a couple of field goals on the board.
Right there.
Cam Newton wide open is LaFell. He hangs on and goes out of bounds. 19 seconds, still a timeout for Carolina. Piece of halftime coming up. After a gain of 13, it'll be 1st down for the Panthers, who are trying to get to 2-2. They're chasing the Saints, who are undefeated in the division, of course, in the AFC South. The winless Buccaneers have an off week. Falcons played late on Monday night.
Let's not be surprised if we see Ted Ginn at the top of your screen run a deep in-cutting route to the middle of the field, and then they call timeout.
Wide open is Olsen. Down the sideline inside the 25-yard line.
I think Arizona, Chris, was thinking the same way. And they were playing Ted Ginn to the middle of the field. He's going to go here. He's going to take defenders with him. And it opens it up for the tight end, Greg Olsen.
And the 4th catch of the game for Olsen, Tim. He's had a 25-yard gainer, and now this a 24-yard pickup. And the Panthers came in with the worst number of 20-yard plays or more in the league.
Well, they were so slow those first 2 games against Seattle and the Buffalo Bills. They certainly started to get it figured out when they shellacked the Giants.
12 seconds, 1 timeout for Carolina. Overthrows LaFell. Tyrann Mathieu back there covering.
Yeah, he had 7 seconds. I think you got to bring your field goal unit out and kick it.
The way this game has been played, Cam Newton threw an interception when they got close before. Patrick Peterson set up the Cardinals, and now after the Mike Mitchell interception, Tolbert and Cam Newton put them in position for a 41-yard try. Graham Gano hit from 22 earlier. We have a timeout. Cardinals use their last.
Try to put the freeze on Graham Gano. Boy, what a missed opportunity. Patrick Peterson makes the huge play, swings the momentum back for the Arizona Cardinals. They drive it down the field with a couple of nice plays, and then Carson Palmer serves it back to the Carolina Panthers, who have recaptured all the momentum and now in position to put 3 on the board.
And if you're a Cardinal fan, you're frustrated like Carson Palmer about this offense. And Bruce Arians, who is an offensive-minded head coach who still calls his own plays, one of just 7 head coaches currently that call the offensive plays.
You know what I think, and Bruce has been at this for a long time, but being a head coach and trying to call all the plays, and you really got to delegate to guys under you, especially with the in-game adjustments, Chris. That's big time.
Brad Nortman will hold for Graham Gano from 41. right down the middle. There's a flag down back at the 32.
Holding. Offense. Number 84.
That's going to back him up.
10-yard penalty, and we'll re-kick.
That's going to be a 51-yard try.
And here's Hartsock right here playing the wingman. I played that position. You got to step inside with your right hand and then step out with your left hand, and he just wrapped his left arm around the neck of Justin Bethel. Does not allow him. Or maybe if he didn't, Bethel blocks that thing.
Graham Gano, his season long is 53 yards. Came against the Giants. In his career, he's hit a 59-yarder. Timeout, a penalty, no problem for Graham Gano. Cam Newton and the Panthers with a 6-3 lead. Halftime here in Arizona, and the Panthers get the ball to start the second half. We hope you stay tuned for that right now. Let's head to Los Angeles. Kurt Menefee for all the highlights of the Visa Halftime Report. Kurt? Cam Newton to get the football to start the second half. The NFL on Fox from Arizona. Panthers trying to get to 500. The Cardinals trying to get a game above 500. But Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, and we're glad you're watching with us. The defenses have dominated. So what do the offenses have to do to take charge of this game in the second half?
I think the thing with the Carolina Panthers, they got to protect a little bit better. 3 sacks already for the Arizona Cardinals defensively. 2 of those to Carlos Dansby. They just cannot pick him up when he's blitzing down the middle. The game plan is fine. They just need to execute. I mean, we've seen Steve Smith drop a touchdown. We saw Brandon LaFell drop one on 4th down in scoring position. And then again, getting close on the plus side of the field, Cam Newton throws an interception to Patrick Peterson. So their game plan is fine. For the Arizona Cardinals, it's 6 rushing attempts in the first half of that game. They got to be better, more committed to running the ball, and then 3rd down, 1 for 5. Not good enough.
You can follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Larry Fitzgerald has just 2 catches in the game. Carson Palmer has thrown 2 interceptions. Cam Newton has thrown an interception, and each has cost the team a potential touchdown. That's why we only have field goals on the board.
It has not looked good for Carson Palmer with the 2 interceptions, both of them in the end zone. Chris, it's hard to know who to blame with all these route conversions if he's just throwing to spots and receivers are not in the right spot.
Ted Ginn is bringing it out. And knocked down at the 20-yard line. Antoine Cason making the special teams tackle. Let's head down to Jennifer Hale.
Well, Chris, you've got 2 coaches who are grateful for their opportunistic defenses and very frustrated with their offenses. Coach Bruce Arians told me that his offense just cannot get out of its own way when it gets the ball, and that this game is likely going to get down to whichever offense can quit stepping on its own feet. It's a sentiment Ron Rivera certainly empathizes with and emphasized to his team at halftime, warning his offense that this Cardinals defense is going to feast on every mistake you make, Chris.
Greg Olsen with 5 catches, Jen. Leads all receivers in the game. D'Angelo Williams maybe back to the line of scrimmage. And Darrell Washington, again, his first game back after the 4-game suspension to start the season, making the tackle. He and Carlos Dansby have played well in the first half.
Yeah, Dansby's been out of his mind. Darrell Washington's had some help on one of the sacks by Dansby. He's such a good player, but Carolina's on pace for over 500 yards of offense. Let's give this defense a little bit of credit for stepping up and making some big plays at critical times.
Time for Cam Newton, and incomplete for Steve Smith. Patrick Peterson knocked it away. Peterson said, I'm going to enjoy covering him, but I won't get into a mouth fight. You don't want that Steve Smith rage.
And then look, 6 rushes for 18 yards, not good. 2 turnovers, both down in the positive territory. Both were intercepted near the goal line. Carolina, or in the end zone, excuse me. Carolina has moved the ball, as I said, with some critical errors and missed opportunities for them.
Well, they're not moving it here. It's 3rd and 10.
He's got Greg Olsen written all over.
Ted Ginn has it, and there's blockers in front of him, and he gets the first down, and he's still going all the way up across the 40. A little catch and a lot of carry from Ted Ginn. 21-yard gain before Carlos Dansby with his 7th tackle of this game.
And Greg Olsen just paved the way with a nice block. Watch Olsen. He's going to get out here and lead the way. It's just a quick hitter, quick screen right out here to Ted Ginn. Nice block there by LaFell, but a beautiful block by Greg Olsen, and good vision by Ted Ginn, able to cut back inside off that block and pick up the first down.
Ted Ginn, who plays with a chip on his shoulder, and his teammates are glad he does. He is happy for the opportunity after stops in Miami and San Francisco in his pro career. Cam Newton the other way. That's Barner, who can't hold on. The rookie from Oregon with a try on a toss that is incomplete.
That was not a lateral. He didn't have a hold of it. It's an incomplete pass. Arizona wanted the ball. Carolina, one area where they did improve in the first half, Chris, and they did early in the season, was yards after the catch. Look at coming into this game, 69 yards after the catch. And if Cam's taking what the defense gives him and is just throwing underneath, which he did in the first couple of games, they got to get some run after catch opportunities much better today, and I think Ted Ginn's a big part of that.
Brandon LaFell had a big 4th down drop. Steve Smith had a touchdown drop. That's Barner who drops deep. Cam Newton goes to the 45-yard line. There's a flag down back at the 38.
I think Calais Campbell got held right in the middle of the defense.
Holding, offense, number 66, 10-yard penalty.
And Silatolu, who was responsible for blocking the big 6'8" Calais Campbell, held him that time. And then Matt Shaughnessy, who's critical now on some of these plays, is flying up the field. He takes the dive. Cam Newton sees it and cuts it right back up the field.
Well, Carolina's time of possession 3 times that of Arizona so far in this game, but a penalty here backs them up to the 31 on 2nd and 20. Cam Newton floats it for D'Angelo Williams, who gets up near the 43, stays inbounds. Carlos Dansby again shaking him down. So it'll bring up 3rd down. 3rd down conversion so far. The Panthers 3 out of 7. Ron Rivera talking about his quarterback and saying, I'm not going to coach him for the future. We got to win games now.
And that's the absolute right way to think about it. I mean, last few games last year, they tried to coach him to be a conventional quarterback, took a lot of the read option plays off his plate. He played well. They tried the same thing this year. And Ron realized this is a win-loss business. We got to get the ball, give it to our best player, and let him take it.
3rd down and 9. Cam Newton cannot get away from Darrell Washington. 4th sack of the game for the Cardinals.
And they're really delayed pressures, and they're letting the D-line do their work. Watch Calais Campbell take it inside right here, and then the linebackers just delay and just kind of wait. And then they see now Cam's going to start moving, almost a spy technique, and they get after him. Good to have that speed back in the lineup defensively with Darrell Washington for the Cardinals.
He hadn't missed a step, even though he missed 4 games. Nortman. Patrick Peterson. He's got the sideline and makes something out of nothing. With 11:23 to go in the 3rd quarter, a 10-yard return for Peterson. The Cardinals on offense.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the new 2014 Dodge Durango. By Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. And by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss.
Back in Arizona, former Panther Brenston Buckner, a coach on the line for the Cardinals.
And that's the last time they had a dominant front 4 with Rucker and Peppers out on the edges, and of course Buckner and Chris Jenkins right in the middle, now coaching here in Arizona.
Larry Fitzgerald gets out across the 26-yard line, run out of bounds over there. Larry, who said, you know, for as long as he's 30 years old, he's got 3 touchdowns already this year, had 4 all of last year. But he said he's already working with more variations of each play than he has in his entire career in this Bruce Arians offense.
How about him sitting down and drawing up some of those route conversions and options versus coverages for us the other day? Very, very complicated.
Second and 4. Caught for a first down, falling forward is tight end Jim Drang.
And you know that's how you do it if you're Carson Palmer. Read the coverage, 2 deep safeties. That's the cover 2 with the 2 deep safeties, and just take the middle linebacker. And if he drops, throw it in front of him. And if he doesn't, throw behind him.
From the 27-yard line now.
7 hurries. Let's give Carson some credit though. He ran away from a couple of those sacks.
Mendenhall. Maybe to the 29-yard line. We have seen Mendenhall, briefly Alphonso Smith and Andre Ellington, who made a big catch to give them an opportunity. And field goals, Graham Gano.
Chris, look, it's a passing league. Yeah, and we know it's a passing league. We know everybody wants to throw it. You still got to be able to run it. That's only the 7th rush attempt in this game for the Arizona Cardinals.
Maybe that's why they're not running it. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, but you know what? You got to stay with it, and eventually you pop one, and at least you have the element of the play action, and you slow down those pass rushers. Otherwise, those cats are just pinning their ears back and getting after the quarterback.
Well, in 3rd and 7, that's what Carolina's going to do. Did Carson Palmer get rid of it in time? He's got the receivers, and thought he had some of the best matchups in the secondary. There's Andre Ellington, the running back.
It's a long way to go from there to there, playing with an empty backfield.
Pass is complete, and holding it across is Ellington. Here comes a flag, and he has a first down. Looks like Mike Mitchell got over there. He had the interception of Palmer in the first half. 1 of 2.
The ruling on the field is a completed catch. After the catch, personal foul, defense, number 21, late hit out of bounds, 15-yard penalty, automatic.
Here's the out route by Ellington. Again, good feet, cutting it upfield. Just as he's tiptoeing out of bounds, Mike Mitchell puts the hammer on it. Boy, he's got some nifty little feet, doesn't he?
I know Rashard Mendenhall is a guy who's a writer and a dancer, but I think Ellington could dance with the stars. 8-yard catch, 15-yard penalty, gain of 23. So on first down, Palmer floats to Patrick Peterson, who gets there another Arizona first down. And it looks like there's a flag down at the 40 on the other side of the field. Again, those pink flags, part of pink and
we're making our
breast cancer
too.
awareness. You got on the telestrator. You went pink.
Yep.
I thought the
prior
time
to the pass being thrown, holding, defense, number 29, 5-yard penalty, will replay, first down.
It's on the veteran Drayton Florence, who was with the team, cut and then brought back with injuries. But the penalties here for Carolina, first on offense, now on defense, destructive.
And I think if you're Ron Rivera, you realize that your front 7, in particular your pass rush, as I said earlier, is a big Band-Aid for your back end with those replacement players out there. They've had a lot of injuries with their starters. And if they don't get pressure, and they haven't gotten much here in the 3rd quarter, that back end will be exposed.
First down for the Cardinals from the 42 of Carolina. Hand off Mendenhall. Dropped down at the 38-yard line. Let's check in for another game break with Kurt Menefee.
Remember that 14-0 Dallas lead? Watch everybody go with the running back, including the camera guy. Peyton kept it. Bootleg. Touchdown run for Peyton Manning. 28-20 Broncos up at halftime in Dallas. Chris and Tim.
All right, Kurt. Peyton Manning. Now he's running it in.
Same thought I had.
He's unstoppable. I know you asked Carson Palmer about using those 33-year-old plus legs to make some plays for Arizona. On 2nd and 6. And Andre Ellington. There goes Ellington. He was averaging 6 yards a carry, hadn't had a lot of runs, but this was worth 26.
And watch the key block of Darren College, able to hook the defensive lineman, K1 short. Larry Fitzgerald gets a real nice block on the slot receiver, and you give Andre Ellington an open lane with that high-octane speed. I told you, Chris, you got to stay with it. You're eventually going to pop one. They just did.
Ellington remains in. That's him in motion. On first down, the give is to Rashard Mendenhall. Tough inside running against that Panther front seven that Carson Palmer said is playing as good as anybody in the league.
And you watch this as they start to get a couple of these nice runs and making a couple of big pops, how it affects the Carolina Panthers rush game later in the game with some of the play action stuff that could come off of it.
Under 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. Bruce Arians trying to get more than 3, but at the very least tie this game on 2nd and 5 from the 7. Rashard Mendenhall stopped short of the goal line. Captain Munnerlyn came up to keep him from getting into the end zone. But it is 1st and goal for the Cardinals, pending the spot.
I love the adjustment by Bruce Arians and dialing up some run plays. I mean, look at this. We talked about it at halftime. They got to run the ball more. Only 6 rushing attempts in the first half. They've already doubled that with 6 on this drive.
Mendenhall. Touchdown Cardinals. The run came through, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season and his 2nd as a Cardinal, giving the Cardinals the lead.
How about Bradley Sowell in his first NFL start getting a nice block down on the defensive lineman for the Carolina Panthers, and it just allows Mendenhall to push himself into the end zone.
Jay Feely on to try the extra point, and now it's a 4-point Arizona advantage. A flag in the end zone. Hold everything. 6 penalties on the Panthers have been accepted in this game, and a couple in that drive helped the Cardinals, who go 85 yards in 5.5 minutes with the first touchdown of the game.
And dialing up some
illegal
rushing
formation.
plays.
On the defense, more than 7 players on one side of the football. That 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the ensuing kickoff.
Cam Newton.
And here's the touchdown here. Bradley Sowell gets a real nice block down. Mendenhall hit right at the line of scrimmage, able to punch his way in there. I'm telling you, O-linemen love run blocking much more than pass blocking. There's 2 key blocks here on the Mendenhall touchdown. Watch Sowell's block down, and then watch Lyle Sendeline get out to the linebacker and get enough on Chase Blackburn to knock him off his track, or excuse me, Luke Kuechly. I mean, there wasn't even a wide receiver on the field. They had an extra offensive lineman and 3 tight ends and punched it in.
Kicking off from the 40 after the penalty, and we're going to get a touchback. Carolina takes over at the 20 for Rashard Mendenhall, his coach, calling him a 225-pound running back with 180-pound feet. We have a flag on the field at the 20-yard line. Jordan Senn, a frustrated, called for a penalty that will back up an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that will put Carolina at the 10-yard line, 1st and 10.
And there's Senn there, and it just looks like an illegal block in the back to me. Not a personal foul, but either way it is a foul, and you said it, Chris, it pushes them back to the 10-yard line as they try to come out.
8 penalties on the Panthers. They trail by 4. And for the most part have held the upper hand this game in terms of time of possession and yardage. But the Cardinals are making a habit out of winning ugly, at least in the first quarter of the season.
And the difference is the Cardinals decided they were going to put some running plays on the menu for the second half. And they've had some nice success.
Cam Newton. Steve Smith. There's a flag down. He gets up to the 22-yard line for a first down.
I think they're going to get OPI on Steve Smith. You bet. Offensive pass interference.
We have an injured offensive lineman for Carolina as well.
Pass interference, offense, number 89. Half the distance to the goal. Replay, first down.
Matched up here on Patrick Peterson. He's going to run in and then run out and just gives a little push off, which certainly looked like it helped create separation, but it didn't look like a lot.
Amini Silotolu is the injured player, starting left guard. Silotolu out, Travell Ward in at left guard. 9th penalty on the Panthers, backs him up to the 5-yard line. From his own end zone, Cam Newton is down. And that is going to be Calais Campbell. 2 points. Slam dunk.
Well, risky calling a throwing play down here, but watch Calais Campbell, and he is just going to burst right up the middle and go by Ryan Khalil. Looked like Ryan Khalil had tripped up on somebody and went down, and Calais Campbell makes the biggest play he's made this season. That was terrific.
And the 5th sack of this game for the Arizona Cardinals.
And he just swallows up Cam Newton in the end zone.
Travell Wharton standing back there, who had just come in off the bench.
Yeah, Travell fanned out to the left in terms of blocking out to the defensive end, and it did look like, or outside linebacker, and that Ryan Khalil was responsible for Calais Campbell and blew the doors off of him.
A 12-6 Cardinal advantage. Panthers will have to boot the ball to Arizona. And the penalties just started like an avalanche for the Panthers on offense, then special teams, then defense.
And Ron Rivera was just letting them know. Look, you guys are your own worst enemy in this game, and he is boiling hot.
Brad Nortman will be back at the,
look at that,
20-yard line. Back to receive is Patrick Peterson. And the Cardinals should come out of this with good field position. Peterson up to the 36-yard line, where Carson Palmer has escaped the 2-interception first half and has a 6-point lead with 5:21 to go in the third. Don't forget, Saturday, the American League's best teams will look for their brightest stars to get them one step closer to the World Series. It's the ALCS. Legends are born in October. This Saturday at 7:30 Eastern, Game 1 of the ALCS. Will it be the Red Sox or the Rays? Will it be the Tigers or the A's?
Those Rays better get those bats warmed up a little bit, getting dominated at the plate by the Red Sox.
Richard Mendenhall, who had the touchdown, takes everybody with him to the 44-yard line.
I love it. I love it. I mean, Carson Palmer just a little pump draw, fakes it to the outside, turns and hands it to Richard Mendenhall. And this offensive line, all offensive linemen, Chris, love to run block more than they like to pass protect. Eric Winston certainly one of those. Bradley Sowell out at left tackle is one of those. Right now they're controlling the line of scrimmage here in the second half.
Mendenhall, his 11th carry, and he's going to have a Cardinal first down. Bruce Arians, you know, Mendenhall was kind of a cast-off, and Fans frustrated with his early start as a Cardinal. He talked about his health, but Arian said he's a guy who thinks outside the box. I believe in Rashard Mendenhall. I know what he can do, and I'm going to give him the chance here, and he has. The only touchdown in this game, and after the first down, just over 4 minutes remain in the third quarter. Cardinals in control at the moment.
Watch how the play action starts to open up now for Arizona.
Patrick Peterson is in the game. They fake to him, middle of the field, complete to Alphonso Smith. Around the 47-48 yard line. Captain Munnerlyn making the stop. Let's check in with Jennifer Hale for an injury report. Jennifer?
Well, Chris, it's not good news for Panthers left guard Amini Silatolo. He is now out of this game. He will not return. Trainers are going ahead and icing down that right knee. Needed 3 bags of ice. That's a pretty big knee.
Thanks, Jen. And now 2nd and 4 here. Alphonso Smith remains the running back. Pressure coming. He gets the football. Knocked down back at the 49-yard line where it'll be 3rd down. Carolina Panthers off a bye week. That lopsided win over the Giants. I just would have expected more from their offense.
Yeah, well, and again, as we said, they've been their own worst enemy. I mean, they've had opportunities. They've moved the ball. They've had it down in scoring position, and then they self-destruct.
Now their defense has a chance to make a play on 3rd and 6. Trailing by 6.
Let go. 180.
Larry Fitzgerald is in the slot. And it's intercepted. Palmer was going that way, and there's Luke Kuechly going the other way. Kuechly sets up the Panthers inside the 30 of Arizona, and Carson Palmer is here on the booze with his 3rd interception of this game.
And he just unloaded that blindly right to the middle of the field. Luke Kuechly makes a great read, has his eyes on the quarterback the whole time, undercut Larry Fitzgerald. I think Carson Palmer, so many times he's so conditioned, he just throws it to spots, and where he thinks the coverage beaters are, Kuechly was all over it. Big play.
Give him credit, but Bruce Arians said our offense should not be this far behind. Even though it's complex, he wanted no excuses. Kenyon Barner in at running back with D'Angelo Williams and Mike Tolbert, a full house backfield for Cam Newton, who gives straight ahead to D'Angelo Williams. .225 and counting here in the 3rd. That's Tom Moore, the veteran offensive coordinator in his 70s. So many years you saw him with Peyton Manning at Indianapolis.
You know what they call him here? The quarterback whisperer.
Well, he needs
to start whispering to Carson Palmer.
Or speak louder to Carson Palmer. Fans chanting for defense. That's 2nd and 7. The turnover gives the Panthers a chance to take the lead or at least get on the board. Cam Newton throws, sideline, incomplete. He just couldn't find anybody open as Steve Smith was covered by Darrell Washington, putting the pressure on Cam, or he might have taken off and run.
Darrell Washington has done a really nice job of keeping Cam Newton behind the line of scrimmage as a runner when Cam starts to extend plays. There's Darrell Washington right there, and he's just going to slow play everything and just wait for Cam Newton to make his move. You can see he's got his eyes on him. Now Cam breaks contain, gets out of the pocket a little bit, and here comes Darrell Washington to force a bad throw.
Third and 7. He caught it. Did he get the first down? Steve Smith down around the 20-yard line.
It does not look like a good spot to me. Steve Smith, veteran move, reached the ball out, looked like in front of the pylon before his knee touchdown.
Remember, that's just keyed in, that pink line for the first down marker, not exact.
That looked like a first down to me as he laid that ball out.
And that might even be a challenge for the spot. And we have a challenge flag out. Is that red or pink? It's tough to tell from here. Help me out, Tim.
That's red.
Old eagle eyes. Okay, there you go.
Carolina is challenged. Forward progress spot in relation to the line of game.
You remember you remember early in the game, Michael Floyd had that opportunity and didn't reach the ball out in front, because it's not about where the body is and it goes down. It's about where the ball is.
Steve Smith giving it the effort. We'll have a closer look in a moment. Ruling on the field was that Steve Smith was down and 4th and inches. Ron Rivera challenged. He's 0 for 2 in the challenge department this year, 2 for 7 in his career, but it looks like a first down from this view.
Yeah, I don't even think it's close. And this official's got to get a better look at it. Ron Rivera should not be forced to use one of his challenges.
After reviewing the play and prior to being out of bounds, the runner did meet the line to gain. The ball will be spotted at the 18.5-yard line. 1st and 10, Carolina. Carolina is not charged with a timeout, and the game clock will start on the ready for play.
It's one of the good things that you have replay for, so you get it right.
But this to me isn't even close in terms of where the spot ends up being. He's like a yard behind, and Steve Smith had the ball out in front, a yard in front of it. And you can see there the right knee was never down as the ball pushed out in front of the line to gain.
A veteran move by Steve Smith. Now first down, 10 for the Panthers. At the 18 of Arizona. Cam Newton is a receiver. He splits out to the left, bottom of your screen. D'Angelo Williams takes the snap, fakes it, and is going to run. All that for the 16-yard line. That was creative.
Fun to watch. Remember D'Angelo Williams several years ago? John Fox used him at quarterback. I think they won a game with him playing the Wildcat the whole game.
There's Ken Dorsey, who, from Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator, as we heard from Jennifer Hale, relays the plays into Cam Newton. And just a reminder, Tim, the play shuts off 15 seconds before, right in the helmet of the quarterback.
Correct.
Nearing the end of the third quarter on 2nd and 8.
This is where he loved Brandon LaFell, this area of the field, last time against the Giants.
He floats it. Kenyon Barner, who had a drop earlier, stopped short of the first down. It'll bring up a 3rd down for the Panthers, a critical 3rd down, because if they don't get it, a field goal, you're within 3. But how many chances are you going to have to punch it into the end zone? Wonder if that's what Cam Newton is thinking about. What's Ron Rivera thinking about? Another close game. You know the history of this team and these two in close games.
Yeah, they've had a lot of issues winning games in the 4th quarter. A lot of those when they have the lead. This one they trail. Let's see if they can get it done.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter. The hometown Cardinals have taken the lead. Carolina Panthers have a chance to make a difference. You're watching the NFL on Fox from Arizona. With Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, 3rd and 3 for the Panthers. They trail by 6.
I'd love to see Cam Newton with a run-pass option here at 3rd and 3. And the opportunity to pick up a first down inside the 8-yard line. You really should go right here to the wide side of the field.
Steve Smith, pass intended for it, intercepted. Darrell Washington. He went out of bounds near the 49-yard line. But the defensive plays made today have turned this game upside down.
Cam Newton never saw Darrell Washington. He never saw him on that play and trying to force it into the slant route. I believe it was Steve Smith out to the right. And once again, a huge missed opportunity. There's Darrell Washington right there. There's the slant. Cam wants to throw it. And watch Darrell Washington just get right in the throwing lane and pick it off. Terrific catch.
Darrell Washington, who Bruce Arians said, we're going to throw him right in there, even though the last 4 games he could not work out or be with the team coming back from that suspension. And Washington said he was so frustrated he couldn't even watch the games on TV. He wanted to be a part of it. He's a big part of it today.
Didn't like that play call. Would have preferred Cam Newton getting outside with his legs.
On 3rd and 3, the interception, and now Mendenhall, who has the only touchdown in this game. Remember, the Cardinal defense added a safety when they sacked Cam Newton, who started out well, but those early opportunities, and you talked about them, come back to bite you. Drop touchdown pass by Smith and a drop 4th down pass by LaFell.
Absolutely, and here it is from Cam Newton's perspective. And he's looking the whole way at Steve Smith, who wasn't open on the slant anyway. Darrell Washington just read the eyes of the quarterback. Not easy to catch those balls coming at short range with high velocity. Darrell Washington able to get it done.
A 38-yard interception return from Washington. Now Palmer sets to throw. Underneath to Mendenhall, and that goes nowhere. Have not seen Palmer of the Cardinals go down the field very much today.
It's amazing. Well, they haven't had a lot of time, but it's amazing to protect the passer. It's amazing here in the third quarter and now into the fourth with their ability and just enough success on the ground, how it has slowed down that pass rush to Carolina and preserved Carson Palmer from getting rocked.
Now Palmer's thrown 3 interceptions. Remember, Luke Kuechly's interception gave Carolina the chance to get points, but Darrell Washington canceled that out. And now it's 3rd and 6. Time for Palmer. Pass intended for Andre Roberts. It'll be 4th down.
They have been awful, Arizona, on 3rd down. Not just today, all year long. And obviously you connect the dots into a tiring defense, which doesn't look to be the case right now, but play opportunities, wearing down the opponent's defense. 3rd down's got to get better.
It's been more than a decade since the Panthers have had a punt return in a regular season game for a touchdown. Ted Ginn waves and gets away. And the Panther offense is going to be in a hole back at the 5-yard line. A 40-yard punt, but Sastadil dropped it right where it needed to be. Cardinals have the lead. Panthers have the football.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by AT&T. Rethink possible. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by Bank of America.
It's as if these teams are searching for the end zone in the desert. We've seen terrific defense today. 5 interceptions combined by 5 different players.
And all in critical areas. As teams were looking to get scored on, they come up with big plays and get the interception.
From the 6-yard line on 1st down, D'Angelo Williams gets up just short of the 10-yard line for the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton suffering a couple of picks, 18 of 29, 260 yards.
And as I said about Arizona and the need to run the football, it's the same with Carolina. They have been unable to slow down the blitz pressures of those inside linebackers, Carlos Dansby and Darrell Washington. They are running at a pretty good clip. Down 6, a lot of time to go. They can stick with a running attack.
Newton has been sacked 5 times. Williams breaks a tackle and gets a 1st down. A tough run from D'Angelo Williams. He's been to the Pro Bowl, nearing the age of 30, but carrying the load at running back for the Panthers this year.
And he just breaks through an arm tackle here again by Carlos Dansby. You got to love D'Angelo Williams. He's just short, compact, low to the ground. And gets through Dansby right there and gets a much-needed 1st down on the ground for his Panther football team.
12 carries, just under 40 yards for him. Mike Tolbert checks in on 1st down from the 19. Cam Newton has time from the pocket and is going deep for Ted Ginn. Gerard Powers was right there with him. It's a 6-point game with 11:41 to play.
Ted Ginn and versus off coverage, Gerard Powers. I mean, he's just going to get on his horse and run with Ted Ginn. The ball's underthrown.
We're in the 4th quarter here. Carolina, you know the record with Ron Rivera, 7 points or less, games decided. They're 2-14 with Cam Newton and Ron Rivera.
Who is going to step up and make a play? That's the question really for both teams here late.
Tolbert. It'll be 3rd down. 11.5 minutes to go.
And I know Ron Rivera during the week of practice, they really try to simulate situations, right? Okay, it's 4th quarter, it's this, let's go. but you just can't simulate when it's real on Sundays, and really how pressure affects players. Whether they try too hard and get a stupid penalty that's self-destructive, or they get a drop. There's a lot more to it on game day. Ron's tried just about everything to try to get his team to get it figured out. Here comes the slot blitzer. It looks like Matthew.
On third down, Cam Newton is on the run. Washington chasing him. Washington got him.
I love the plan by Todd Bowles. That's the 6th sack. So they're going to send pressure to the left of your screen, Tyrann Mathieu, and then Darrell Washington, again, as a delayed blitzer, a spy, if you will. And as we said in the open, the only guy with the speed to track down Cam Newton. Most other teams, Cam does that. He's running away from somebody, not Darrell Washington.
6 points is all that Cam Newton and this Carolina offense has been able to put up today. 10 minutes remaining as Nortman punts to Patrick Peterson, who has to back up inside the 20 of Arizona. But he's got a little room. It's knocked down up at the 27-yard line. A 62-yard kick and a 10-yard return. The Cardinals, who have the lead, have the football. Never be without football. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL to download now.
Star Lutulele needs to make a play. He has been relatively nondescript in this game. Watching him on tape, he's a very good player. A lot of the pressure on Carson Palmer has come from Charles Johnson and K'Wan Short, and a little bit from Hardy. Lutulele has not really made his presence felt.
Well, the wave is back in the desert. Mendenhall and Ellington the backs. On first down, Palmer to throw, and he does get it to Ellington. Knocked down around the 28-yard line. Arizona in the first half, 18 rushing yards, 57 in the second half, and now they have the lead. A good time to run it.
Yeah, and this is where you want to run it. This is where you want to win this game, right here. And just chew it up and churn it up on the ground. And I know Mendenhall has been the workhorse and has had the touchdown today. I would really like to prefer to see Ellington get the ball a little bit more. He's averaging almost 10 yards a carry.
Mendenhall the back on 2nd and 9. Palmer to throw and connects Michael Floyd right near the sticks. They're going to give him the first down. Palmer trying to shake off 3 interceptions in this game. 1st and 10 from now the 38-yard line. Bruce Arians, who said, if I don't get to call the plays, it'd be boring being a head coach.
Yeah, he did say that, didn't he?
These two.
I like him. I mean, he's going to tell you exactly how it is. There's no sugarcoating anything for Bruce Arians.
Ellington the back, he gets the carry, and met hard by Keithley and shoved back. Let's check in again with Kurt Menefee for a game break.
Well, the Cowboys doing their best to keep up with Peyton Manning and the Broncos. Tony Romo over 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns. This one to Terrence Williams closed the gap a little bit, but they're still down 38-27. Chris and Tim, Peyton Manning, 4 touchdown passes, 1 touchdown run, still 0 interceptions.
That is amazing. And Kurt trying to stay undefeated like the Saints and the Chiefs. The Seahawks and Patriots fell from the ranks of the unbeaten today.
I think Peyton Manning's on pace for 64 touchdown passes.
On 2nd down, Ellington carries. It'll bring up 3rd down. And the Cardinals trying to move the ball and chew up the clock. A precarious 6-point advantage. But they've kept the Panthers out of the end zone so far. And the defense producing points with a safety.
Again, and this is an area where they have really struggled today. And it's been frustrating for that man right there, the head coach, Bruce Arians. 3rd and 6 here. And they're 2 for 8 in this game at 25% conversion. That's not good enough.
Ellington as a receiver. Fitzgerald, top of your screen. There is time for Palmer. And caught at midfield. Floyd. There's a flag down back at the 44-yard line. It's a first down catch if the call is not against the Cardinals.
It's Carolina. It's a defensive hold, Chris, I believe.
Prior to the pass being thrown, holding, defense, number 41, penalties declined. Result of the play, first down.
The call on Captain Munnerlyn.
Now you got to appreciate the way Carson Palmer just held up and held in there on that play and waited for it to develop. There's Munnerlyn right there on Andre Roberts. And I didn't see the hold. Maybe an illegal contact past 5 yards. I didn't see a hold there.
Floyd, the leading receiver for the Cardinals today with 5 catches as Mendenhall carries. And Carson Palmer, who suffered a couple of interceptions. Of course, he had a couple of drops that were big. Excuse me, Cam Newton, I should say. Palmer has 3 interceptions. But Cam Newton, you talk about his body language over on the sideline. What can he do now? Should he be trying to encourage his offensive teammates so when they do get the ball back, they are at least on the same page?
Yeah, and he said his preference is to do it on the sideline, not in the game, not on the field. But he also said this for a young player, which is interesting. When I'm not performing great in terms of getting it done, it's hard for me to be that guy because he doesn't, I think, almost feel genuine that he's not doing his part.
The salient point. Handoff to Ellington, who's got a first down inside the 40 of Carolina. This is a crisp-looking drive for the Arizona Cardinals.
And here's what you have to love. They are winning the clock game right now. And this Ellington has really got something to him in terms of the quickness and the cutting ability. Watch this. Bang. He's able to pick up extra yards down inside the 40-yard line and another first down. Nice game for him.
Been an all-purpose player for this Arizona offense from the 38. First and 10, Cardinals. Mendenhall brought down right away. And if you're the Panthers and you're going to hang your hat on the defense in the front 7, then they're going to have to put a stop to what the Cardinals are doing.
And you can tell just Bruce Arians, Carson Palmer, the ambition is to chew the clock and run the ball. They had Josh Thomas at the top of the screen with 0 help on Larry Fitzgerald. Most guys would look at that matchup and go, I'm throwing it to Fitzgerald. We're going to take a home run shot. And they chose to just run it right up the gut so they can win the clock in the ground game.
Second down, 10. Michael Floyd in motion. They give it to Mendenhall. It'll be third down. It's a 6-point lead, so anything the Cardinals could add to this would change the dynamics of what the Panthers offense has to do. They're marking it, looks like, at the 37.5-yard line, and now third down and 9.
Well, Ron Rivera's got to be disgusted with his team and their self-destruction. This is the biggest play of the game right here in terms of forcing them to either punt or go for a long field goal.
And right now it'd be a 56-yarder. So the Cardinals need to gain something here if they want to try a long kick. On third down. Palmer has time, unloads it. Alphonso Smith will not get the first down, but he'll make the decision tough on a field goal try. And here comes Jay Feely. Remember, Feely's only miss this year was a 50-yarder.
Carolina, I mean, needs to think about calling a timeout here. And you see Ron Rivera's out of his mind as this thing's just continuing to tick away.
And it looks like it'll be right at 50 yards for Jay Feely.
Boy, this is intriguing. If Feely somehow misses this thing, it's a touchdown and an extra point away from a victory. It's going to be a tough road to hoe, though, as good as the defense has played here in the second half for Arizona.
Feely, 8 out of 8 from the year, other than the 50-yard miss. He was 7 of 7 coming in. He's made one today from 42.
I mean, think about this for the defense of the Arizona Cardinals. They gave up 259 yards in the first half, and certainly Carolina self-destructed on some big plays. They've come out here in the second half, and they have given up literally about 75 yards to Cam Newton in Carolina.
In a game filled with interceptions and sacks. This is a critical kick. We're making a 2-score game. And Jay Feely is right on target. From 50. .338 remaining, and the Cardinals widen their lead. 16th career field goal of 50 or more.
Today's game is sponsored by Pizza Hut. Prep for game day by ordering online from Pizza Hut. Make it great.
With Tim Ryan and Jennifer Hale, Chris Myers here in Arizona, where the Cardinals have widened the lead. It's a 2-score game after Jay Feely's 50-yard field goal and the pressure on Cam Newton, who's been sacked 6 times and suffered 2 interceptions. From the end zone, Ted Ginn tries to make something happen. And still going up the sideline, under the 30-yard line. The Panthers have 2 timeouts remaining after a 37-yard return, but the Cardinals have the upper hand. The NFL raising awareness, Breast Cancer Awareness Month with Pink everywhere. To help out, go to NFL.com/pink. Being tested, being screened can save lives. And the fans observing as well.
Positive mojo.
Well, Carolina has to come up with a couple of scores starting from their own 31-yard line. A chance to get back into this game, but the clock is their enemy.
Look at that.
2 timeouts and 3.5 minutes to play.
What a performance by this Arizona defense in the second half of this game.
Carson Palmer, Cam Newton to Steve Smith. Stopped short of the 50-yard line. Carson Palmer may get away with another ugly win as they hurry to the line, and winning ugly as the Cardinals try to get to 3-2 and the Panthers trying to get to 2-2.
And this is what the Panthers have to do, is get those chunk plays here being down 2 scores.
Tipped in the air and incomplete. Pass intended for Armani Edwards.
I think that hit Gerard Powers right in the head.
I don't know if enough can be said about the defensive effort by this Cardinal team. I know you talked about the Panthers front 7 coming into this game, Tim, but certainly the Arizona defense has done its part, had a strong hand in this game so far.
And they got 6 sacks. They got the big interceptions down in their own territory. It's been a brilliant plan by Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator, using his new toy, if you will, Darryl Washington, who you saw right there, as kind of a spy blitzer. First half it was all Dansby. Second half a lot of it's been Darryl Washington.
2nd and 10, not over yet for Cam Newton. Open and caught at the 40, out of bounds is Ted Ginn. 2:55 to go.
And that's an area now, again, as we said, 2 scores with 2:55 to go. You still do have 2 timeouts left, but they're going to have to get the ball back again if they even get a touchdown and an extra point here. You know, it being a 2-score game. And that's the area where they have struggled, and Ron Rivera knows it. Chunk plays, driving it down the field, have not gone the way the Carolina Panthers have wanted them, not just today, but really all season.
Cam Newton, 289 yards passing. He's run for 25. On first down from the 40. Fell and overthrown. He felt the pocket collapsing around him. And the missed opportunities for the Panthers, and it happened early. Steve Smith drops what would have been a touchdown. Fell on 4th down in scoring range, drops a pass.
That was huge. Then you had the interception here right before half, which really flipped the momentum for the Arizona Cardinals. And then this one was a killer. Once again, down in scoring position. And Darryl Washington picks it off and takes it to the other side of the field. Todd Bowles will not stop setting pressure.
The ball is out, and the Cardinals have it. It's Antoine Cason. And it was Cam Newton who ran him down. Calais Campbell knocked the ball loose. And Cason ran with it. And the Cardinal defense does it again.
Talked about Calais Campbell needing to step up. He and Darnell Dockett on the inside. Todd Bowles is just not going to stop sending pressure to the defensive coordinator. There's Calais right there, and look at all the players that are coming. Calais Campbell knocks it out. Kason, part of that speed package, has not played a lot this year, is the recipient to take it right out of the air as it bobbles around a little bit. And what looks like maybe the opportunity in the big play to salt this game away.
First and goal from the 9-yard line. Boy, that turned the field around and the game in a hurry. 2:38 to play. Mendenhall, the carry, steps inside. And a timeout by Carolina. They're going to have one left. Cam Newton, can he rally his team? Can he win close games? So far is a big question mark.
It sure is. And I think one thing that's kind of slowed Cam Newton down today is some of the play calling. I mean, with all that inside pressure, you got to let him use his legs. Pre-snap, rolling out and getting away from the pressure.
A couple of the Cardinal defenders, Calais Campbell, Antoine Kason, destructive on that last play. The Cardinal defense had 7 sacks coming into the game, Tim. They have 7 today, including Campbell knocking the ball loose from Cam Newton.
And Calais Campbell has been everywhere in this game, especially here in the second half. And then the inside linebacker pressure has been a tremendous key for Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator. And Carolina, clearly, Chris, has not had an answer.
On second and goal, the give to Rashard Mendenhall is knocked down. Greg Hardy in on the play, and another timeout on the last by the Carolina Panthers. They'll have the 2-minute warning as a timeout, but that's it.
Should have turned and handed that little fly sweep action to Andre Ellington. There was nobody close to him. I'm really impressed with the rookie and watching him. I think he was a steal in the 6th round.
Fox tonight, the scariest night of the year comes early. Animation domination with an all-new Halloween episode. In fact, there's a few of them. The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. All new tonight, starting at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. You'll see it on Fox. Bruce Arians, the fact that he could come in, celebrated his 61st birthday within the week. The team sang happy birthday to him. It has the Cardinals on the doorstep of winning 3 out of their first 5. Carson Palmer throws, end zone, touchdown Cardinals, Jim Dray.
Remember what I said earlier about the play action in the run game and how that would pay dividends down the road? Watch Chase Blackburn right here bite. Dre's going to come out and come back to the middle of the field and is wide open. You see Blackburn just go flying up for that outside toss. It was all set up by a good running game here in the second quarter, and he bit on the play action for the touchdown.
For Jim Dre, his first career touchdown. For Carson Palmer, that's his 5th touchdown toss of the season, and it's the arrow through the heart of the Carolina Panthers. Dre, in his 4th year from Stanford, a 7th round draft pick, hung around from Paramus, New Jersey, and has contributed for this offense.
I'll tell you, these 2 wins last week, I said it. Remember, they had no business winning at Tampa, and the way that happened. Now, give their defense a lot of credit, Patrick Peterson for making some great plays, and Carson Palmer for making a couple of nice throws, including their only touchdown in that game against Tampa. But with the interceptions today, with the issues of how the first half went, to be able to win this game, and with that upcoming schedule, this team's building character, and they're starting to believe.
Well, the 49ers will play the Texans tonight. The Cardinals, with this win, go to 3-2. San Francisco, defending NFC champs, at 2-2. Seattle, the leaders in the division, suffered their first loss of the day earlier when they fell at Indianapolis.
I don't know if you remember when Bruce Arians, and he's waited a long time for another opportunity to be a head coach. I mean, he was a head coach at Temple 30-something years ago, right?
That was his only chance,
right,
as we kick off, other than the interim coach for Chuck Pagano and the Colts when he was honored as Coach of the Year and got this job.
That's right, and certainly deserving of what he got last year. You remember those old Temple days when he had that ponytail hanging out of the back of his hat?
I don't remember. You're older than I am. I don't remember that.
I loved it.
He chuckled about it when you brought it up to him, but he's old school yet new wave with the offensive approach, and he's really a no-nonsense, straightforward kind of a guy.
You know what I love about him is he's not afraid, and being older himself, to hire some of the older guys that have such a vast knowledge of pro football in this game. You know, there's a lot of coaches around this league now that don't want to hire the older coaches because of everything they know. That guy right there, Tom Pratt, and then there's Tom Moore. These guys are in their 70s. Tom Pratt coached in the first Super Bowl.
Tom Pratt is 78 years old. He was an assistant for Hank Stram on the Kansas City Chief team that played against the Packers, and he helps on the defensive line with the guy you talked about earlier, Brenston Buckner. So you've got age, you've got youth, and it's a good blend for this Cardinal team.
Yeah, and old Coach Pratt there still matriculating his way through with those defensive linemen.
Yeah, Mark did good. Where's his pocket square? He should have that, like Hank Stram. And Tom Moore, who worked with this offense at age 75. And the Cardinals on their way to their third victory. Cam Newton just trying to get rid of it. There wasn't much there.
And you mentioned Tom Moore, 75. He's always chewing gum. How many pieces of gum do you think Tom Moore has chewed in those 75 years as a coach on the sideline? I mean, he is working it out all the time. All those great years with Peyton Manning in Indianapolis.
Well, I think you can afford to be patient with your offense if you're Bruce Arians or Tom Moore when your defense does what the Cardinal defense did today. 7 sacks, 3 interceptions.
I love the way Arizona came out here in the second half and played great defense, no question about it, but decided they wanted to run the ball, and it paid dividends.
Steve Smith at the 39 has a first down, and that should take us to the 2-minute warning. Carolina has no timeouts remaining, trailing 22-6 after a gain of 19. Ron Rivera looking at another slow start in his head coaching career here with the Panthers. Carolina ready to fall to 1-3, and they go on the road at Minnesota next.
It's amazing when you look at this team 2 weeks ago against the Giants and then look at them today. A lot of it is youth at key positions.
On first down, pass hits the official. Incomplete. He had to call that incomplete. Of course, he could have caught it. Let's check in for a game break again with Kurt Menefee.
Well, here's something we literally hadn't seen all year. Peyton Manning throwing an interception. Morris Claiborne goes up and gets it for the Cowboys. It led to a Tony Romo, Jason Witten touchdown, and the Cowboys have the lead over Denver in the fourth. 41-38, by the way. Romo 400 yards and 4 TD passes, and almost a full quarter left to go, Chris and Tim.
That deserves a wow.
Absolutely, and that's without a full group of wide receivers with some of their issues.
On 2nd and 10. Time in the pocket. The ball fluttered and is intercepted. Carlos Dansby, who was the leading tackler in the first half, gets his hands on an interception. And John Abraham, the KG veteran, batted the ball, deflected it, so that Dansby could come up with it.
Well, you had to figure something was going to happen. You stand in the pocket that long and wait for things to develop. I mean, Cam Newton's back here about 5 seconds. And as he unloads that ball, Abraham gets 2 hands up, knocks it up, and Dansby, the recipient, he has had a whale of a game today. Good to see him back in an Arizona Cardinal uniform.
3 interceptions to go with a lost fumble for Cam Newton. And again, sacked 7 times. And Carson Palmer can run this thing out and be thankful that his 3 interceptions don't affect the Cardinals in the victory column. For Ron Rivera, it's home with the Rams after the road game at Minnesota. The winless Bucks, and then they get Atlanta. But they're chasing the Saints, who are 5-0 in the NFC South.
I think the beauty of how their schedule sets up, and they're certainly going to have to play better and less self-destructive if they're going to have any mention of being in a playoff race. But they do have the New Orleans Saints, by far the front runner in that division, 2 of the last 4 weeks on the schedule. And Carolina, if they can keep themselves in position, history will tell you they play good in December.
But who holds them together with 9 penalties, the turnovers, after a bye week? This was a game they should have played better football.
And bottom line is this: nobody can point fingers, coaches or players. Everyone needs to look themselves in the mirror and self-reflect. I mean, it's really that simple. And I think they could have helped Cam Newton out, certainly in the second half of this game, with better play calling, allowing him to get outside the pocket, you know, before he had to sit back there and run for his life.
Today's game, a Mike Burks production, directed by Scott Katz. We welcome Michael Frank back next week. Get well real fast. Associate Director Brian Biederman. Broadcast Associate Mike Streck. In the booth, Emmett McGuire, James Petralka helping us spot. Mark Sosna on computer graphics. Studio show produced by Bill Richards and directed by Stephanie Medina. And an impressive win for the Cardinals. Back home, and now 3-2 for head coach Bruce Arians. And for Ron Rivera, another rough start, falling to 1-3 before the Panthers head on the road. We'll have more from Arizona. You're watching the NFL on Fox.